I told you once and I told you twice. But you never listen to my advice. What's happening, everybody? It's been a couple weeks. I'm sorry. It's Thursday, May 21st, 2026. For those of you watching this decades in the future, I'm playing the 6L6 prototype, which is kind of in a holding pattern right now. All of my contract manufacturing is taking a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it's happening. It's really good. And part of the deal was getting financing. Everybody wanted to kind of see me up and running and get dealers going. And the fastest way to do that was to resurrect a couple of old amps. Scotty Bratcher made it on time. Look at you, son. That's cool, man. So anyway, I had a couple weeks of meetings and good stuff going on. Finally getting numbers, good numbers, on what we can sell. Then we got to get to building amps. It's going to take a little bit. Hi, Knut Berger. How are you, buddy? Anyway, life is good. I just got back from up north in California. Hey, Javier Sesueda, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. From Spain, welcome. Bienvenidos. Yeah, my daughter graduated from college, so I'm a little wiped out still. We might have celebrated. And then for those of you out on the East Coast, I hope you're okay. I just talked to a friend of mine who got stranded in New York yesterday. Plane couldn't take off because the weather was so bad. And then he couldn't take the train back into the city because it was flooded. Had taken Uber all the way out from JFK. It's a long way to JFK if you've never been out there. So these pickups in this guitar, this is the guitar I had last time. It's my 1960 Relic, but there's really nothing on here that's Fender anymore, except for the neck plate and maybe the knobs and the jack. Everything else has been replaced. It's hey, oh yeah, Haas, where you want to play, buddy? Yeah, it was a lot of celebrating. It was a lot of fun. It was so great. My kid did so well. She got honors and got to sit up on the stage with the PhD candidates. That was really cool. Her and I think it was 32 out of 450 people in her political science group. Not the whole class, just her political science department. So I was just silly proud. Anyway, what I was saying was these are Ron Ellis's 64 pickups. These are the ones that like John Mayer uses and stuff. They're really good and they're low output, which I kind of dig, you know. So I got this amp pretty well jacked right now and it's just not getting super dirty. I can go over here to the dirtier channel. Get more out of it for sure. But the low output pickups really have a sound. All right, let's push it now. We got the echo too loud for this now. Hold on a second. We'll just go dry. That's just dry into the amp, right? Noisy, though. Got to figure that out. That's easy to figure out, though. It's a prototype. You guys get to enjoy what prototypes do. And what prototypes do, pun intended, is make unwanted noises sometimes, and that's what this one's doing on this channel. That's some good vintage Strat sound, though. Bridge pickup, middle pickup. Yeah, that's why it's a prototype. Needs a little bit of work. Down here it sounds great, though. Put a little bit of echo back on. Just a tiny bit of slap back. Give it some room and a little bit of verb. So I have pedals, too. It's one of the things, a lot of people just use amps as a pedal platform. So I need it to be pedal friendly. This is a Klon. It's not really a Klon, it's the cheap copy, but it sounds as good as any Klon I've ever heard. I've played a lot of them. And then this is Josh Smith's Rat Pack. Which I think has a really cool sound. I made my living with a Rat pedal for a long time. Kind of weird sitting here by myself in a group situation. That sounds right. I played this amp in a group situation a few times now, and dang if it doesn't sound good. Anyway, what's going on with 65 amps? Look, I have 65 shirt on. So just last night, I finally got cabinet numbers, which means I'm this close to having a proper price list together, which is good. What I have to do is be able to make the amps now. We have to prototype. I need to go fly to my contract manufacturer's place, hopefully sooner than later, and try to get amps out before the summer's over. We're a little behind schedule. I'd hoped to be selling amps by next month, maybe July. Realistically now it's going to be August or September. Squawky. I wish Scotty Bratcher was right here, man. I play rhythm for that dude, and we could sit around and jam all day long. It won't be long, though. When I go, this contract manufacturer is actually right by where Scotty Bratcher lives. So, Scotty, I think you and I should be doing a couple of shows. Did you guys know Black Sabbath was that funky? I always thought of them as a funk-influenced hard rock band. People thought I was crazy, and then you listen to War Pigs. That's funky as shit. Yeah, Hoss. That's right, brother. Yeah, Sabbath was great. I love Sabbath. I think they're fun as hell. And they weren't like, they had some serious lyrical content, but I think they were having fun, like poking the establishment, you know. I don't know why that lick just crept into my brain out of the recesses of the back of my brain. But you have to play it with some swing, right, Hoss? Like, it's got to swing. Yeah, man, Danny Likey. So anyway, what's going on? I'll get back to my story. So this contract manufacturer is in Ohio. And I need to go there. We need a prototype. I'm getting quotes from transformer companies right now. I think what's going to happen is we may offer Mercury as a slight upgrade on these. So you can pick whether you want a Haybor transformer or a Mercury transformer. I think there's no bad choice there. I think they're both fantastic. From my experience with them is great. So we're going to do side-by-side shootouts here soon on the show. Also just for sales and marketing purposes, so you guys can pick. That's still the rat pedal. I really like this. Josh Smith's rat pedal. There's 9 different versions of a rat on this pedal. I don't have my glasses on, and this writing is made for 7-year-old kids. But they all sound great. So that's the amp just dry. There's still a little verb on there, so let's turn that off. That's right, Hoss. It's got to have the roll. The rock don't mean nothing if it ain't got the roll, right? Oh, I'm repeating what rock's great, but it ain't nothing without the roll. Yeah, man, I don't know how you live without the roll. Just sitting around. I mean, there's a couple bands that don't swing that much, like The Who, and they're fucking great. Did you guys see the clip I posted on the fans page the other day? It was like 1974 concert. And Townsend comes up to the microphone and just softly starts singing. What is it? People trying to put us down. And the crowd goes nuts, and all of a sudden. And then Daltrey comes out and sings at full blast. And Townsend is just running all over the stage. Crazy. There might have been cocaine involved. I don't know. But, man, that's rock and roll, dude. That was so good. I saw that, it just the way he teased the audience and the way he jumps way up in the air and lands right on the downbeat. Oh, try to put us down. You know, I can't sing quietly. I used to sing that song in my high school band, talking about my generation when I was like 16 or something. And I put in some inappropriate language in there. Why don't y'all fuck off? Yeah, I mean, the Who are great. I don't think of them, as like... They're just slamming. They're slamming, I think, as far as rock bands go. The Who in their prime, the gospel version. Yeah, we could do a gospel version of it just for the intro. People try to put us down. Just because we get around. Yeah, I used to sing that song in like 9th grade, 10th grade, house parties. And literally be in somebody's basement. This is Missouri, right? Everybody's got a big old basement in case of tornadoes. And Tornadoes are a real part of life when you live there. People build their houses to be able to be protected from tornadoes. It's that much. I thought that was perfectly normal growing up there, but apparently it's not. But anyway, big old basement, unfinished rooms, set up a band in there, 50 kids, talking about my generation. It was quite fun. We had a really good time. Also, the big thing that I really missed doing when I was a kid, and Scotty, you're probably hip to this, playing at a barn dance. There's something really special about a barn dance. Loud rock and roll out in the country. No one cared because we're 10 acres away from the next family. They don't give a shit. And, generators hooked up behind the barn, lights. And these are old school par cans. We were hoping like it didn't set the barn on fire. Like if a light would crash and the whole place would just torch, right? So had to be very careful. Sometimes just on the back of a flatbed truck out in back of a barn too. Really great time. So much fun. And then them country kids, man, when they come to party, they come to party. Friendliest bunch of nicest people you ever see. I'm not talking about rednecks. I'm just talking about country kids. And they're so happy to have a party and that we came to entertain them. And Scotty nails it. It's a really healthy, wholesome kind of fun thing. Only it was back then, it was rock and roll. And those kids would dance. There's dudes in cowboy hats and pointy-toed boots and stuff, and they're dancing around in the dirt. It's really fun. I mean, it's really, really fun. I'm not a country guy. I grew up in a small town, but, I was inside the town. We had running water and color TV and all that stuff. But Scotty says, especially when the chili tent burns down because Skeeter brought fireworks. Yeah, there's always some asshole with bottle rockets and Roman candles, wasn't there? Now I'm remembering songs I used to play at those dances, right? Hoss, you can sing this? I know Scotty can sing it. Here, come again now, baby. Oh, I always get the notes wrong. Here, come on. Where is it? Those pickups sound good, don't they? Like in the right situation. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I love Focus by Hocus Pocus, right? I gotta remember that. I used to play that all the time, and I've completely blanked on it. I was thinking about that. It's funny you mentioned it, Hoss. Dude, I wish Hoss and Scotty, you guys, we would have a hell of a band together. Where's Derek when you need him? That's right. Gosh, huh? I used to play that all the time, and a couple weeks ago I was just thinking about that, going, man, I completely forgot how to play Focus. Jorn, yes, I'm going to get a Norwegian dealer. I think I might actually go back to the guys that still run vintage guitar in Oslo. Arne's father, Kjell, if you guys know Kjell, these are really great people. I consider these Norwegian guys my family. And then the Haugen brothers are on board also. They're going to help me over there. Lars and Aslak Haugen. So, they're not going to sell for me or anything, but they're going to probably hook me up with some people. But I think the people that still have... So Arne sold vintage guitar, gosh, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something right around COVID, because things got tough. Hoss, I'm going to relearn that for you. And try to get back into Norway for sure. And there's a dealer in Sweden I used to have that's interested. And there's a guy in Holland I used to have. Max Guitar. Wasn't the best relationship we had, but he sold a lot of amps. I got two guys in Britain that want to jump on. I have a guy in Austria, a guy in Switzerland. Excuse me. I'm just going to burp on my show, if you don't mind. And a guy in Italy right now that I'm talking to. So I should be able to get a pretty comprehensive thing. When we finally get like CE inspections, I'm going to self-certify right out of the bat. But the engineer that's helping me do this, everything's going to be CE compliant. It's just the inspections cost a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, like $5,000 to $15,000. Jan Ackerman, that's right. That guy? That's the singer. So once we get CE, then I can go into like Thomann in Germany, and they distribute all over. I had a dealer in Paris. I don't know if he's still there or not. Let's see. That's a Klon. Yeah, that's not right, is it? That's the Rat. Michael Branson, planning to compete against Victory? No, I plan on coexisting with Victory in a happy, friendly, nice way. I don't really think in those terms, to be honest with you. I think making guitar amps is kind of like food. Like I'm making one kind of food, and these guys make another kind of food. Even if it's the same kind of food, like there's a big difference between Italian chicken and Mexican chicken and Greek chicken and, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Anderton's is good. Guitar UK. But Hosh, you and I should talk offline. John Priest at whatchamadoodle too. Why am I blanking on the name of his shop? John Priest out in Essex. Peach Guitars. Thank you, Dan, for remembering. So yeah, what I would need to do is make a trip over there. Peach. Yeah, that's right, Hoss. Thank you. I like John Priest a lot, and he's a really good guitar player. Nice guy. We got off to a great start over there. And then, unfortunately, that was right when I was doing my license deal. And things got a little, I think, awkward for him. But we're going to fix that. Pedal's good. Let's get this tone a little better. A little muddy on here, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Get a little more top end. And throw on the Rat. I'm still on the clean channel of the amp, Getting Brian on board at Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney, Texas would be huge. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea, Michael. I appreciate that. All of these suggestions would be great. If you guys, I could start a thread on the fans page and we could get it all down. It would also help me if you feel comfortable doing it. You don't have to. But letting those people know, like, hey, I'm watching Dan's show. He's going to start making amps. I sure would like to see them in your shop. let's go over the dirty side of the amp and see what happens. A little noisy with the gainy side. I know what that is. It's one capacitor I have to fix. This is a little more Marshall-y, kind of straight up. Not a lot of bass. So if any of you ever played on stage, especially in a bigger room with a loud guitar amp, the first thing that the sound man says to you is, hey, can you roll all the bass out of that amp? Because you're up there with a kick drum and a bass guitar, sometimes even a keyboard, that are all down in the lower frequencies. So on stage, if you're in that zone, you're pissing people off because you're confusing the sound, right? And the sound man also is trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So you end up with a sound very much like this, which is what I had in mind when we did it. Now, it sounds a little bit thin by itself, but in a band situation, it's perfect. Now, if there were a bass guitar playing underneath me, that wouldn't sound thin at all, right? It'd be just right. I kind of dig that. Yeah, you don't want stink. Yeah, you know this, Haas. You don't want stink eye from the bassist. Stay in your own lane. That's right. It's a different world. So one of the things I'm going to put on the new amps, and you know, Peter and I came up with it. So Peter is consulting with me still on this. We talk about the amps, and you know, Peter has a wonderful range of experience going back to the 70s, you know, playing on stage. And right now he's still playing with Sheryl Crow, and then he's got his own band, you know, with Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith. So he's still out there in that world. Like one band, he's playing little 20-watt Marshalls behind a plexiglass screen. And then the other one, he's playing a 100-watt non-master volume Marshall through a 412. So that's a pretty wide spectrum of experience right now. But he's had that range of experience for decades. I had experience like that for a little while, for about a decade. So when we talk, we're talking the same language, even though he clearly is way beyond me. But one of the things that a concept we came up with, and we're going to trademark this, and I'm officially trademarking it right now. Copyright 65 amps, copyright Dan Boole. This is my prior art statement right now. This is Thursday, May 21st, 2026, and I am saying this as prior art on purpose. We're going to put a switch on the amps called home and stage. So at home, you want all this bottom end, right? You want this, you know, this sort of... What you want for a standalone guitar is very different than what you want on stage, right? But on stage, what you want is... So it was kind of a funny thing. I don't know why it didn't occur to us earlier. But when we sold amps, the guys that were pros would always have us revoice the amp for no bass. Peter especially, like the Empire, he couldn't stand it. It had so much bass. And we sold a lot of those amps because everybody loved it. You sit at home and sound like a big old 412, you know. But then everybody who was a pro would go, hey, man, could we, you know, like, oh, sure. And then they'd send us the amp. We'd put a secondary cap on a little switch so they could go heavy or thin, however they needed to. And the pros don't want all that bass, and their sound man definitely don't want that bass. Because otherwise, they have to roll the bass out of your channel on the PA system, which affects the rest of the sound of your guitar. So it's not something you really want. So anyway, we're going to do that on the new versions of the Elvis and the Stone Pony that are coming out soon. And then also the bump switch has been improved. For those of you that have a bump amp, there's a little bit of noise when you flip the bump switch. The engineer we're working with sorted it out. He's the 8th engineer we've showed it to. Nobody could figure out how to fix it. We can go cleaner, right? Anyway, you get the idea. So a functional amp that's got a little rock and roll to it, pedal friendly. Also going to run tubes, any tubes, and sound great. Again, this amp now still has the cheapest shit Chinese tubes I can find in it. I think it sounds really good. I'm sure if I put some really sweet modern 6L6s in there, it'd sound better. But I'm trying to prove a point. Oh, yeah. Is the stage switch going to be called something crazy esoteric like the 356 switch? Where did you get that idea? Yeah, we could go Cobra 356. Cobra? That's a good idea, Haas. Seriously, dude, you need to come to LA. This is dumb. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I have a car problem, and these are two of my favorite cars in the world. So, this is a 1965, ironically, Porsche 356. Makes Danny very happy. One of my little secrets is, this is a 427 Cobra. I like the 289 Cobra better. One of my little secrets is I manage a friend's car collection. It's been a long time. I forget those songs. So I get a drive. He has a 63 Porsche 356, a black one. And it's been juiced up a little bit. It's got cams in it and Weber carburetors, and it's just really fun to drive, dude. It's like driving a Swiss watch. That's what it feels like. Everything's mechanical. Everything's really cool. And then he has a 63, 64, 289 Cobra. Yeah, and you've seen pictures of the XKs. He's got XK 150s, not XKEs. He's got yeah, sure, Mike. Are you hearing a lot of clicky from the pick? Yeah, Mike, let me do that here in a second. That's a great, thank you for bringing that up. I know it's hard to do. I mean, I even switched to the best mic I could find to isolate, and it doesn't work. I guess what I can do is get a headset, but man, that looks kind of air traffic controlled, doesn't it? Yeah, let's do that for a minute. Let's see. Hello. Oh, crap, it's not working. Hold on a second. The mic's still on, isn't it? Check, check, check. Check, check, check. It's... What the frick? Could be. Why is it coming back on? I turned. Oh, I know what's happening. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is not. I keep forgetting. This is not. Okay. That was a good suggestion, Mike. Thank you. I always forget. You know, when I listen back to it, I can hear all that clicky, clicky. It's not really coming through here that much, which is where I get fooled. I'll do more of that. And if you promise to remind me as well, I'll do it. Let me tune up a little bit. I'm bending this guitar a little much. Yeah, there's a good little Who rhythm sound there, isn't there? Have you seen Greg Howe play live? I never have. Stu Ham and Greg put on a phenomenal show. No, I haven't. I'd love to. Um, Sadly enough, I don't go out and hear live music much anymore. I'm busy. I got a family and a business and lots of stuff going on. And I live in a city where I can go to a fantastic show most nights. That's what's kind of funny about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Camera's a little wonky. There we go. Got a little more. So anyway, I should probably switch guitars too, but really wanted to share with you guys is that Forward Motion. I've been sort of stalled for a while, which has been frustrating to say the least. But it seems like we're no excuses. Yeah, you're right, Mike. I can't argue with you. I accept that criticism for sure. And my wife loves to go out and hear music too. It's not like I'm being impeded in any way. It's almost too much. Like, when you live close to the beach, you don't go there very much because you're like, yeah, the beach is right there. I'll go tomorrow. It's one of those sorts of situations here in LA. When I was young and single, I went out a lot. I went out a lot, but what's the last band we went to see? Peter at the Whiskey A Go-Go down in the Sunset Strip, which is not very far from my house. As the crow flies, it's only like 5 miles, I think. But you got to go through Laurel Canyon, so it's a little windy. Saw Peter Stroud with Close Enemies at the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset Boulevard. Is that the last show that I went to? That's been a while, too. That was late January, maybe early February. Dang, that's not cool. That's some bullshit, right? That's not good at all. Damn it. So anyway, Nelson. Oh, that's right, Scotty. Thank you. I went out to Norman's Rare Guitars charity concert out at the Canyon Club. When was that? March, Scotty? Is that when I went, or was that February? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Mike, thanks for keeping me on track. I'm really not ADHD. It's just when I'm here, I want to keep everybody up in the air, like a juggler. Things got stalled. I hooked up with this contract manufacturer mostly in January. He's a very busy guy, and he's trying to fit me in. And I think we were both just a little optimistic about how it was going to go. We were both very excited about doing all this stuff together. Yeah. And I have 4 border collies, Hoss. You know that. That's right. They take time. It's a great lifestyle, but it's a commitment. So we were just kind of optimistic. He had a lot more work on his plate than I think he realized, which kind of put me back a little bit. So now we're finally rolling. I would say realistically, we're 6 weeks behind, at least. And we got to get moving, though, and we're planning on it. He actually rewrote some software at his place to accommodate pushy people like me. It's kind of weird when you run a business in Los Angeles. You're used to a different sort of, what's the way to say it? The nice way to say it. You're sort of used to a different protocol as far as work goes. If I derail you because of the delay, then I'll take ownership. I'll take ownership to right the ship. Well, Michael, I don't think you're not holding me up. Um, you're fine, as far as I know, unless you're another guy. No, I think it's no one's screwing up here. No one's malicious or no one's been problematic or anything like that. It's just everybody's busy. You get excited about working with people and you kind of commit to stuff that you really want to do. But maybe it surprises you how much work it takes. And it's kind of an educated guess anyway. So that's kind of what's got my watch doing that. That's what you guys are hearing on the microphone all the time, isn't it? But anyway, we're rolling. Excitement and enthusiasm also kind of makes you maybe be unrealistic. So I think we're all sort of guilty of that. And that's where we are right now. I have a lot of interest. It's like building a house. Phil Hadaway says that's a good analogy. It's like when you sit down with a contractor when you start a project. He says it's going to be 8 weeks and blah, 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 and it ends up being 30 weeks. You're imagining everything going perfectly. You're imagining no impediments. I did not plan on having a detached retina during this whole setup. I actually started talking to this dude last November, but we hadn't really committed to anything. And then I had the retina surgery in December, which in and of itself is not a big deal, other than you can't really do much for about 2 months. I had to lay down for weeks, and I was on very restricted activity for a long time until late February. And then laying down 50 minutes out of every hour after a while really catches up to you. You feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. You feel every muscle and bone in my body was sore. So it took me a while. I've been working out, trying to get healthy again. I think I feel a lot better now than I did a few months ago. So that's all good stuff. I'm actually swinging a golf club again. But so there's some unexpected delays. The tariff situation was also holding up my money people. And the minute that the tariffs got declared illegal, my phone rang off the hook. Imagine that. Even though the tariffs aren't going to affect me that much, people, it just spooks people. Really spooks people. So one of the things that I did on the 2 weeks that I was off here, I got to go in a minute anyway. You guys have any questions or thoughts? Or got a good crowd here, but you guys, I can just tend to rattle. I'll just keep talking until I see stuff on the screen. I have a fear of dead air, I had lunch with Keith Wyatt, my old instructor at Musicians Institute. He was the guy that ran the guitar department when I was there, and he's a rockin' blues guy. He's really good. We had so much fun. And then I just found out this morning that one of my other teachers at Musicians Institute passed away, a really famous guitar player named Ron Eshtay, who was one of those astonishing... I was such a dumbass kid. I wish I could go back in time, I wish that I now when I was younger, right? That's mean. So I went to Musicians Institute in 1986 and 1987. And all I really wanted to do was play rock and roll and blues. So I got hooked up with Keith Wyatt eventually. That's what he does. And man, damn, is he good at it. I mean, really good. Anyway, but other teachers that I could have sat down in rooms with all the time or taken seminar classes with were people like Joe DiOrio, Joe Pass, Ron Eshtay, Tommy Tedesco, people like that. And I just kind of went, I was 21, barely. I mean, I had just turned 21 when I started that school. My birthday's August 19th. And I think literally I started school the next week. Um, yes, good question, Mike. Let me get to that in just one second. Um, and I didn't care. I was just like, I don't know who these jazz freaks are. I don't care. It's a dumbass kid, just dumbass kid. Good question, Michael Branson. Now it brings me back to substance here. Is there a way to boost cut the bass on the amps with the tone circuit? Conversely, is there a way to reslope a treble or bass knob for greater control? Both of those are true. Can you do them dynamically? It's easier to do the first one because the way bass works in a tone stack is the size of capacitor that you have on that part of the tone stack. So the larger the capacitor, the lower the frequencies will come through. So when we would sort of do a stage switch for artists, you know, like for example, we'd have a 0.022, not even a huge cap, right? Or a 0.03, something like that. Sometimes a 0.06. Then we just put a 0.01. And that would just lop the bass off. It's like a high pass frequency sort of thing. Anything below a certain frequency wasn't getting, hey, that'll do. Come here. Border Collies. That's easy to put on a switch. To actually reslope the tone treble knob and greater control, you lose some character when you do that. Tone stacks have a certain thing. Like a Fender tone stack is really different than a Marshall tone stack. And it's also really different from a Mesa Boogie tone stack. They work that's a Bandaxol tone stack on a Boogie, which is very interactive. So when you adjust the mids, it actually affects the bass and the treble also. Whereas the Fender and the Marshall tone stacks don't do that. You're just literally taking that slice of sound and seeing if it works. You know, adjust it where you want it. So, but it's very easy to just put a switch on there. One of these little boogers like this, right? Now, if you can see it on the broadcast, it's a little needle switch. It's tiny. And these are little bat switches. I can put a switch like that on there, just switching between a couple of caps. What I'm copywriting is the name, stage and home. So that's a very good question. Thank you, Michael. It's my phone here on my desk. I usually sit here at my desk with my phone on this little stand, right? And I just voice text here all day because I have to be productive. I got to sit here and work. I'm taking some classes on AI video production. So add a Boss 12 band EQ to the pedal board. Got it. Actually, that little Boss EQ pedal is really good. It's an 8-band, isn't it? 7 or 8-band EQ. It's called EQ7 or EQ8, something like that. A lot of guys use that, and one of the sliders I think is 8K. They just push that all the way up and kick that in for solos. It's really good. It works well. You can also have somebody who's intelligent. Hey, man, what are you doing? Stop that. I'm bitching at my dogs. You can have a competent tech change the values inside of there so you can set the sliders to be whatever frequency you want. Marshall stuff is usually around 7. If you want to get the sound of a good Marshall, you're usually in the 7 range. Learn that from Tom Sarowski, 7K. Works really well. And then multiples of that, 70K, 700K. You boost those, you get a really good Marshall clanky sound on a recording. And by itself, it might sound a little extreme, but when you're in a band, it sounds good. But what are you trying to achieve, Michael? You just want to have that flexibility? Is that what you're saying? You want to be able to dramatically reshape the amp? It's hard to put all that in the front end of an amp. I could, but it's going to be a whole lot of wiring to do that. and B, that really raises the price. And usually it doesn't work as well as doing something like what you're talking about. Usually guys that want to rely on pedals for everything tend to be more of sunrise and after dark home and stage. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Usually guys that want to rely on pedals for everything tend to lean more towards Fender style amps. And guys that are less pedal driven lean more towards Marshall driven amps. The funny thing is, Fenders have great clean sounds, of course, and I think it's a superior clean sound. I just don't play clean very much, so it's not that important to me. But guys that have Fenders, their pedal boards are full of pedals that make them sound like a Marshall. And guys that have Marshalls have pedals that make them sound like a Fender. So scoop out the mids. A question to get you tech talking. Love hearing and learning. That's why learning what's behind the engineering. Oh, sure. I love that stuff. And I got to leave here in like 5 minutes. But if you would like to come loaded with more questions, I love that stuff. I try not to go there too much because I think I'm worried that I'm being a nerd. And I'm by far not the smartest guy in this business. Yeah, pardon me. Part of me is listening to this amp. I get distracted listening to this amp. But one of the things, too, that we're trying to do soon, hopefully, is get an office over at Chaplin Studios, the former Henson Studios, the one that John Mayer and McGee own now. There's a whole office building over there that's kind of empty. And I might be able to get over there, and we can set up a proper broadcast rig that's better than this. And Trip, man, what are you doing, dude? Come here. You got the big itchies right now? What's happening? That way, Tom Sorowski and I are going to try to cohabitate. Tom has been doing all the video and social media and AI stuff for David Lee Roth for a long time. He's not working with David anymore. He's gone out on his own. And I think we're going to cohabitate. He's going to help me with the 65 stuff. And we share rent, that kind of thing. I can give him a lot of work. And it should be good. I think it should be really good. Tom's really good at this stuff. Not to mention he's really fun. Most of amps with a tone knob only have too much bass when you don't want it, or get too shrill at bedroom. Yeah, bedroom thing is a tough one. Same for treble and bass knobs. Low and high volumes can be tough precision unless you have op amps for digital control. Is C still occupied by our friend? No, C is John Mayer now. Phil. Shanks has his own studio at his house that's amazing. Really good. Really, really nice. Full setup. Crazy. Top notch. But he's playing with Bon Jovi now most of the time. So anyway, Michael, you bring up a good point. So tube amps are really, really hard to do at bedroom volumes. The little amp that I haven't even shown you guys yet that's running on sub-miniature tubes will do that. It's only 2 watts, and it sounds killer. But really what you need in order to get that sound that you're thinking of, Michael, of a big amp and a big rig and a big room, but in a small room in your house, you need a digital signal processor to do that. You need a DSP to help you. Because it's an illusion that you're creating. And so you can't really do that just with tubes. It's really hard. Javier, why not using the Fryat PS2A? Well, first off, I don't know what that is. That will tell you that I'm ignorant. You talking about his power supply thing? Uh, Boo, Michael Branson. I hate to break it to you. I've been having this bedroom amp conversation for 20 years. Um, a DSP sounds fine, though. You won't know the difference. I have a video of me playing that little tiny amp that's 2 watts, and it's killer. It sounds good. And there's no DSP on it. It sounds huge, but I'm running it through a 112 cabinet. So if you want to play it through little speakers, you're going to need a DSP. Um, is that Stevie Fryas load box an IR player? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That's his load box, right? And you can play IRs and stuff for it. I've never played it. I've heard it's really good. But then you got to buy an extra piece of gear. I would like to eventually have all of these amps have that stuff um, built into the amp. That's the idea with this one. First off, I'm just going to release it as an amp. And then after that, we're going to start adding the digital stuff to it. But we got to get out of the gate. I can't do it all at once. I don't have that big of a budget. So I need to get up, selling some amps. We're going to get designing and releasing new stuff. So it'll come out, trust me. But make a big amp or a small amp big, yeah, it really gets into a long, nerdy conversation. Are you familiar with the concept of the Fletcher-Munson curve, Michael? It's 2 audiologist scientists, one named Fletcher, one named Munson. And what they did was they figured out that the human brain does things to sounds at different decibels. So we have an internal limiter and compressor built into our ears through our brain. And so at a certain level of decibels, our ears start to change the way things sound. And if you've ever been in the studio, you're keenly aware of this, right? You'll be in the room with a 100-watt Marshall blowing, and it sounds good. And then you go in the control room and listen to it through microphones, and it sounds really different, really, really different. That's because your brain is not doing what it does. Yeah, it's just like it sounds. Fletcher, 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 Munson, Munson, the Fletcher-Munson curve. These guys figured out that your brain starts to reduce treble and bass above around 80 decibels, I think it was, somewhere around 84 decibels. There's a number in there. So when you're out listening to a loud rock and roll band, your brain is compressing the hell out of that. Marcel Marceau product videos. Thanks, Haas. So when you're trying to get a big sound in a bedroom, you're trying to do it at a decibel level that's below the Fletcher-Munson curve breakpoint. So you're doing it down at, 60 decibels or something, 70 decibels. And your brain is not compressing that sound. So the amp doesn't sound like big, boomy thing anymore. It sounds full range and thin and fizzy. Yeah, that's right, Michael. You got it. But there's a self-protection mechanism in your brain to protect you from super loud noises. And like you've probably been around like a gun going off or fireworks or something, and there's that instant where it went silent, and then you hear the boom, right? You could tell just for a slight moment your brain went, I got to protect you from this. It's too much for your brain. So our auditory system is really complex, and it's pretty hard to fool it. Our ears are good, and that's because we are apex predators. And we use our hearing throughout the millennia to track down prey. And also to listen to babies crying in a distance or hearing somebody stepping on a twig or a leaf 50 yards away from us. Your ears and your brain are extremely complex. And they're very difficult to fool like that. So when you say, I don't mean you, when anyone, and I've had this conversation literally hundreds of times. I'm not picking on you at all. It's a great question. It's a great conversation. When people say, when one says, I want to have a bedroom amp that gives me the same feeling of a big rig out in a big room. I want to feel like a real man playing guitar. It's really hard to do. It's really hard. It's almost impossible to do with tubes. Um, so usually with a load box, when you do that, you compromise the sound. It doesn't quite sound right. With the little amp that I'm working on, we call it the Traveler. That's also trademarked and copyrighted. Thank you. The Traveler, it doesn't matter. It's 2 watts, and it sounds great. If you run through a big cabinet, it sounds really good. What I'm going to try to work on is with Eminence is building some little speakers that have full capacity like that, but we're going to have to put a DSP on it to make it sound like it's big. You just can't fool your ears. Now, digital signal processors, I'm not changing the sound of the guitar or the amp or anything. What I'm doing is changing the way the signal is processed out to the speaker. So you all have a little Bluetooth speaker somewhere, and it sounds huge, right? You can hear kick drums in it and bass guitar, and it sounds great, but it's only this big, right? That's a digital signal processor doing that. And so we're going to have to put that on a little guitar. Phil, you are, man. I'm just about ready to clock out here, but I got a few minutes. I'm just got back from my daughter's graduation, so I'm kind of what's the word? Stoned? Not literally, but I feel that way. I feel very beat up right now. Anyway, this is a good thing. Well, Michael, thank you. We'll have to talk about the tricky behind Celestian's Peacemaker speakers. Yeah, I've played that speaker. It sounds really good. It's 2 voice coils. And a lot of the signals just being shunted to ground. So it works. It works really well. It's expensive. Eminence is also working on something like that. I forget what it's called, but I'm going to have a prototype speaker here soon. Thanks, Phil. Congrats to her and the parents. I'll watch the replay. Yeah, I'll be here for a few minutes. Did you have something on your mind, Phil, that you wanted to discuss? I'm here. I really don't have anywhere to be. I'm just tired as hell and I need to eat some lunch. But I haven't seen you guys in a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll be nice and not run off, right? Michael, these are great questions. I like that you're bringing this stuff. I know quite a bit. I'm not the smartest guy around, or the most knowledgeable guy when it comes to this. There are people that know more about this than I do, but I think I'm in the top 5%. I can give you an answer that's not made up or bullshit. It might be incomplete, but anyway, so the concept at a macro level is I want to have an amp that sounds like a big amp, but I want to play it in my house. I want to play it maybe along with the television. You know, everybody's got a nice surround sound system now. I do. I love to throw on a concert. Last week, I was a bachelor for a few days. I put on Hendrix at Monterey. They've remastered the video and the audio. And I put it on the big TV and the surround sound system. Crack open a cold beer, and damn, was it good. If I had an amp I could play along with that, it'd be pretty good. Now, this guy here, if I flip it down to low power, it's only 3 watts. And believe it or not, 3 watts is still pretty loud. So, Michael, this will get you close. When you say bedroom, I'm thinking, literally bedroom. Bedroom is quiet. Bedroom volumes are like this, right? So 3 watts is still going to be quite a bit for a bedroom. But it's quiet. It's, people are going to hear it in the next room. People are going to hear it downstairs. That not loudly, but they'll be aware of it. It's a really tough nut to crack. And people have been trying to crack this ever since I got in the amp business. And I made the first amp in 2002. So it's been a minute. I made the very first London. Peter and I made it together right out here in my backyard in a little shed out in back. Will it be like single-ended operation? No, Javier, that's a good question. No, it'll be full push-pull. The first one I made, it's literally just a plexi. It's a little tiny plexi. And it sounds I'll share the video here soon. The videos have been because we're so delayed with everything. I haven't been able to progress on it. I don't know if it's here on this machine or not because it's on my iCloud. Shit. You know what I'll do? I'll put it on the fans page. you guys can hear it. It's me and David Royer there. You see David Royer walk through the through the scene. David Royer does not like dirty guitar amps. He has no idea why anybody would want. David Royer's a microphone guy, right? Why anybody would want to make tubes distort. So as soon as I start playing it dirty, he just walks out. You can see it on there. And it's prototyping, and I'm a little serious. It's not like a jam session or anything. I'm sitting there, we're trying to, and it's breadboard. It's not even on a circuit board yet. Little tiny sub-miniature tubes. It took a while to get it to sound right, and it sounds good, like really good. So that's down the road. I wish if I had enough funding, which I'm trying to get, I could do parallel work tracks like this. But anyway, you won't need it to be single-ended, Javier. It's 2 watts wide open. If you play it clean, I think it's 1.2 watts or something. And it sounds legit. It doesn't sound like a toy. You're not making compromises on it. Yeah, that's right, Michael. So under and around 70 dB has to be enough to push for the speakers to flex under kilohertz. So perhaps a dual speaker setup where a single speaker is not doing all the legwork. Yeah, I'm working with Eminence to come up with some voice coils that are really soft. Kind of peeking behind the curtains here. Yeah, you're right, Phil. The irony is he's in the business of capturing dirty amps. He cannot understand it. He just thinks it's crazy talk. So anyway, I guess I'm going to have to get an SM7 or something, like the standard podcaster mic. So anyway, in order to get what you're looking for, Michael, and I don't mean you, I'm not singling you out. Literally, there's millions of guys that want this. But you get down to a certain level where you run into the same problem we have here right now, where you're going to hear the guitar acoustically over the amp. So if on the video I'm going to post, I'll post it on the fans page either today or tomorrow. We're in a big boomy room. I'm playing through my sweet little Marshall 65 112 with my reference thing. You can hear pick scratch. That's how quiet the amp is. So you get, it's really tough. It's really hard. The rig I'm doing right here right now is almost better because it's silent. I'm just playing IRs. What you guys heard me playing is an IR of a Marshall 412 with a Royer 121 on it and a Shure SM57. And it works great. And I'm not bothering anybody. I can sit around here and play guitar all night. But I do have to wear headphones. And these are pretty good headphones. These are studio cans. These are, what are they? Sennheiser DT990 Pros. It's a pretty good set of headphones. I have some other ones too, just for variety. When I'm mixing, I mix things here in Logic, and it's good to audition them through different sets of headphones. If you really want to play, yeah, car stereo is a total different thing. Those are full frequency speakers, but with tweeters and everything. But if you really want to play at home and not bother anybody, it's a tough thing to pull off. And let me give you some reasons why it is proven not to have happened yet, because no one is flying around in their private jet and their yacht based on their amp sales, because we've all been trying to figure this out. I think I'm going to get closer. Will it be perfect? Probably not, but it'll be a way smaller compromise. Right now, when you play something quietly at home, you really have to compromise. You compromise with feel, you compromise with sound, you compromise with the fact that the speaker's not interacting with the pickup and the strings very much, which is the thing I'm missing here on this rig. When I get an office where I can mic something up acoustically, you'll hear the speaker interact with my pickups a lot more, and it makes a big difference. It sounds way more alive, It's not feedback, but it's interacting, right? The speaker and the pickups interact. So it's very important. Michael says, I haven't found a setup that isn't noisy under distortion. So much hiss in the upper mids and feel. Yes, you're right. Yeah, it's tough. That's another thing when you're playing at 100 decibels or 110 decibels or 115 decibels. you're not going to hear that hiss. That your brain is shutting that out. Um, so it's a conundrum, and it's very normal to sit outside of this world, having never designed an amp, and go, why don't you just do this? Everyone's tried it, and I've tried 50 different things. I know all of my peers have too. I think I have a way to get there. I learned a lot from Marcus Ryle over at Line 6. Um, and I have some ideas, and I'm a nerd and all that stuff. So I think we're going to get there. My big problem right now is money. I just have to get funded, and I'm talking to people. Um, I'm talking to a lot of people about money, and it's going well. This is not the best time in history to be soliciting money. Um, yeah, it makes total sense since the electrical system is a closed loop. Yeah, it's it's just crazy. Now, having said that, nothing's better than the sound of a big old amp blowing your head off and actuating the strings and pickups on your guitar and all that stuff. It's quite a unique, exhilarating feeling, and we all want to get that at home in the peace of our house. Um, but man, it's tough. So I started the amp company in '02. We incorporated in '04 and became a serious thing. Before that, Peter and I were just building some amps in my pool house for friends, that are in the business, for professional musicians. Um, and that very first time we had a party right here where I'm sitting right now next to this fireplace. It was a guitar barbecue, and we had the guys from Alice in Chains over, Tim Godwin, who then was at Line 6, what's his name, Brad Fernquist, who was playing guitar for the Goo Goo Dolls at the time. I think he still is. And a few other players, and we sat down and played the very first amp right here, right where I'm sitting right now. And during that conversation, somebody brought up how they would love to have a bedroom amp. Hey, Scott, thank you. Oh, congratulations to you too, buddy. Thank you. So that was 24 years ago. So I know it's frustrating that we all want to hear this thing. Dude, Darla, what are you doing? I got a bunch of itchy dogs today for some reason. Excuse me. And they're sitting over here. It sounds like a cow eating behind me. So everybody wants this, including me. I want it too. Guitar barbecue, yeah. I think it's a pretty common phrase, actually. I literally was barbecuing. My back porch is just through these doors right here. And through my dining room is right there. And then I was barbecuing, and while we had all these great guys, Peter Stroud, of course, and all the dudes from Alice in Chains, which was quite fun to have here, and Brad Fernquist and Tim, all these great players, and it was like, this amp is good. That was the purpose, and I was out there barbecuing, and we drank beer and barbecued and jumped in the pool, and it was a hell of a good time. I would like to do more of that if I could. Then we had a whole bunch of kids. That was before my first daughter was born. So, right before it. Man, I'm going to kill some dog. Dude, what are you doing? Dude, you have to stop. Look at that shame dog over there. Dude, just stop. You're killing me. Okay? No, the kids are fantastic. But you can't have a whole bunch of rock and rollers in here drinking beer and playing guitar at 115 decibels in your house when you have a baby. Not only does the baby not like that, but the mom doesn't like that either. But for a while, when we first started selling amps, I sold them right here in this room. Guys from the Gear Page would come over and pay me cash for amps. And it was interesting. I learned a lot about the Gear Page from that. Some of the guys were great players. Some of them were super gentlemen. Some of them were super cool. It was all fine. Some of them had no idea what they were doing. there was one guy, I had to tune his guitar for him. He was playing, it was so out of tune. He brought his own guitar, which is cool. And it was so out of tune that I went, hey man, you want me to help you with that? And I did, and I tuned it. And then he kind of just played, and then he said, why don't you play? And I played, and he bought the amp, paid me cash for it. My wife was like, that dude doesn't need a $3,000 guitar amp. He needs guitar lessons. It was very interesting. And this guy happened to be a particularly opinionated, sort of aggressive person on the gear page. And then sure enough, he went and wrote this big, long review about the dulcet overtones and, all this kind of shit. He was a nice guy, but a little bit of a image thing going on there. But having said that, everybody from the gear page that came over here was really nice. Everybody was cool. They were all friendly. But I just kind of realized it's more of just like a association hangout. It's not really. A lot of guys want to present themselves as really accomplished players or whatever. Maybe they don't know any better. I don't know. But and they talk down to a lot of people on the forum, which I really don't like. I'm not cool with that. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Everybody thinks that this pickup is the best and you're an idiot. And okay, it's all like food. It's all subjective, right? We just like what we like, and there's no right or wrong. I personally like really spicy horseradish mustard. A lot of people don't. Does that make me stupid? No, it just means I like spicy mustard. Lars Haugen, there he is. Speak of the devil. Hey, buddy, how are you? We were just talking about getting dealers hooked up in Norway again. I should talk to you offline. I was thinking of just going back to, the guys that bought vintage guitar from Arne. I literally just mentioned your name a few minutes ago. Everybody, Lars Haugen from Norway, one of my favorite guitar players, and actually, kind of tell the truth, one of my favorite people. We became really good friends when we were working together, and I miss seeing you all the time, Lars. I want to come over. Plus, we need to do that thing for Arne as well. So, anyway, yeah, man, we're just talking about blasphemy. No, that's not true, Michael. But we want to be. That's how business is made. Same reason we drive 500 horsepower cars on 45. Yeah, no. It was just one of the, everybody can get to a certain competency on guitar, and I don't care how well you play, to be honest. I don't think like that. I don't really think in comparative terms. I like to play with people that have fun and enjoy what they're doing. I play with Lars Haugen, who is 10 times the guitar player I'll ever be, and we have a good time. Yeah, Lars, let's talk offline. We need to catch up. I've been seeing a lot of great videos of your band. So Lars and his brother Aslak have a band called Hellbillies. They're in Norway, and they're so good. I don't understand any Norwegian at all, and I love their music. So if you get a chance, check out Hellbillies and Lars Haugen on Facebook and Instagram. Their band is so good, and they're an institution in Norway. They've been together, I believe, for about 30 years now. And they do sold-out tours all summer long, huge crowds. And they sing together, the siblings, and when they sing harmony together is so special. And Lars is an outstanding guitar player, just outstanding guitar player. So it's really fun. It's really, really fun music. Even if you don't understand Norwegian, don't worry about it. It's good. It's really good. And the records are really well produced. Everything. It's really good. Haas Thompson correctly states liking hot mustard means you spent time in Britain and learned the true way of mustard. That's right. Well, that and I had a German grandmother. So you combine those two. I remember the first time, the horseradish mustard in Britain is so good. This is a dumb story, but I'll stick it in. I remember clearly I went to the London Zoo, right? And oh, I'm salivating talking about it. It was so damn good. I went to the zoo in London, and I was really hungry, and I didn't plan on eating like zoo food, right? But they had like a bratwurst kind of thing, sausage. It's not a hot dog, but it was elevated. And and the lady was like asking me, do you like horseradish mustard? And I went, yeah, sure. And I put a ton of it on there, not realizing how hot horseradish mustard was in England. And I was crying, man. I was like, oh my God. It tasted so good, I didn't care. But the person that I was with was just dying laughing. I'm like guzzling water. But it tastes so good. And I kept eating it. But yes, fresh horseradish mustard is way hotter than normal horseradish mustard. So I got accustomed, but I like spicy mustard. I like regular mustard too, or regular American sweet mustard is fine. I like that, especially on like a chili dog or something. It's really good. But anyway, this all falls under who gives a shit, Dan? What are you talking about? Anyway, so Lars, I have new amps. Do you want to come over and help me voice the amps like you did before? Come over for like 3 or 4 days, and when we're prototyping amps, and Lars helped. Matter of fact, you know what's funny? This is the chassis, Lars, that you and I worked on together 15 years ago, maybe. It's the top of the nose sinus percussion when you hit it too hard. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my sinuses were wide open after that, man. And I used to do that if I got a cold a lot delivering food in London. I was in and out of a truck in the rain all day long, and nothing like some spicy mustard for a lunch snack to open up my sinuses. It was great. Right there at Soho Square, there was a vendor there. Well put, Hoss. Anyway, so man, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Lars, remember when you and I built that producer? And we spent a whole afternoon with Mike, and we voiced it to your taste. I think this is the chassis. I think it's totally different inside now, but I think this is actually the chassis that we used. Isn't that crazy? Let's do it again. Come on over. Come on over to the U.S. and hang out. Yeah, I think literally that was 2011, maybe 2010, something like that. Because you were over here. I remember while you were here to go see David Bianco because you were mastering one of your records here in North Hollywood. Where's the tube guy? Miles. He's still here. He's retired now. We'll get Miles over also. Miles would love to see you. He'd love you, man. We all did. But we considered you family over there. Yeah. Yeah, Miles is retired right here in Burbank. He's like 10 or 12 minutes away from me. Yeah, we could figure it all out. That'd be good. 2012. Was it 2012? Yeah. That was the last year I was at that shop, as I moved out at the end of 2012 with the license deal. So anyway, fun stuff. That was one of your albums. What was that album called? I can't remember. But I went with you to Dave Bianco's mastering studio up here in North Hollywood, not too far from my house. It's like 10 minutes north of my house, I think. And poor David has left us, right? He's moved on. Miles, that's right. Yeah, that's right. How fun. Yeah, well, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to getting the company back together is re-engaging with a lot of people that I really love and care about. So, yeah, okay, Trenton, that's right. I remember that. And then I also went over there to your studio outside of Oslo, which is amazing. The Haugans, the Hellbillies, have this killer studio outside of Oslo. And it was really funny. These guys are so popular in Norway. We're like driving down the freeway out to their studio, which is like, 20, 30 minutes outside of Oslo. And people are pulling up next to them on the freeway, honking and waving. They recognize the Haugen brothers. And, at the same time, you're like, be careful, man. Don't, these people are being dangerous because they were so starstruck looking at them. Yeah, that's right. Arna came out there with us. Yeah, that was a fun day. We had so much fun. Anyway, Michael, Michael, I appreciate the question. And I don't mean to sound dismissive or condescending or anything. The questions you're asking are very fair, normal questions that have hard answers. I don't have a panacea answer. I mean, I could lie to you and say, oh, yeah, sure, this product will do that. And if you give me $3,000, you'll be happy. The little amp, though, I think it's only going to cost about $1,000. So that should be fun. And it's powerful enough to push a big cabinet. 2 watts, believe it or not, it sounds great. Like if you're playing coffee house kind of thing, singer-songwriter workshop kind of gig, it'll be perfect for that. But the thing that'll be fun about it is you can take it over with your buddies and jam. So if you and your buddy each have one with the little speakers in it, right? You can go to someone's living room and sit around and jam. Go down to their basement, shoot pool, and play guitar. It should be pretty fun. The Traveler. Anyway, I do gotta go, guys. It's 1:30. I'm so hungry. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Michael, thank you for the good questions. Please come back with more. Lash Hobart, thank you, buddy. I'm really happy to see you. Give your brother my best. And I'm still trying to get over to Norway. It's just been impossible. My life has gotten in the way. And you and I and everybody, we have a little business to finish over there for our friend Arna. Phil, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Lots of guys here. A lot of cool conversation today. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I was gone for 2 weeks. I'm going to be back next week and hopefully have some better news. I'll keep you updated along the way. And I appreciate all your support. And hopefully I'm on the road to getting the funding that I needed. Haas Thompson, thank you. Your contributions are always excellent. I appreciate that sincerely. And I got to run. But I love you fellas. And I'll just say to be continued instead of bye. To be continued. See you next week. All right. Cheers.